enough as we head into our final match.
And for the last match of the day, it's two top 10 wrestlers. Number 9, Trevor Chumbley of Northwestern. Number 8, Tommy Askey of Minnesota. And Hayden, likewise, we are expecting big things and a lot of excitement in this 10th and final match of our duel today.
Oh, Tommy Askey's a lot of fun to watch. The transfer from Appalachian State, his first year here at Minnesota. His first year in the Big Ten, and he's getting used to Big Ten wrestling pretty quickly. Trevor Chumbley, one of those Big Ten guys that's ready to welcome here to the conference.
Chumbley made his season debut in the Big Ten last time out, got a decision victory against the Wolverines. A graduate student from St. Charles and Marmion Academy. Askey, meanwhile, the two-time defending champion of the Southern Conference at Appalachian State. 90-37 career record, 74-35 at App State, including a 30-win season in 2022-23. As he won those two SoCon championships, he went a perfect 15-0 in conference duels.
Yeah, and SoCon is a tough conference as well. There's always some good wrestlers that come out at the national championships every single year, but the Big Ten, a different beast. Askey getting accustomed to it, wanted a different challenge, and definitely growing as a wrestler. Love the styles between these two wrestlers. You saw right away there was some strong hand fighting. Both these wrestlers trying to get to that inside tie. Askey's doing a good job right there.
And it's a nice way to round out your career. Certainly he'll be remembered for a very, very long time in Boone, North Carolina for the work he did as a wrestler, and now an opportunity on the biggest stage for the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, in Minnesota, you know, the transfer portal's a crazy world out there right there, but, you know, I love these guys that, you know, come from the smaller schools here, the NCAA, you know, and the NCAA, and then they try a chance at the Big Ten, and it's so much fun to watch to see how these guys have grown over the years, and I love these opportunities. You know, the transfer portal, it's done good for a lot of people, you know, getting some new opportunities, especially if they want to, you know, pursue an international career. You get into some of these bigger club wrestlings, and Minnesota doing a really good job out there in Minneapolis.
Chumbley, meanwhile, that win last Friday was 5-0. Just kind of a slow burn of a match that he never really gave anything to number 15, Chase Saldate of Michigan. And it's a similar pace we're seeing so far here in the first period of this final match.
Yeah, he's really good on top, and all these Wildcat wrestlers are, and that's credit to Matt Storniolo. They always, you know, do a really good in that top position.
Askey, meanwhile, still looking to pick his spots. He's got 4 major decision victories this season, but that's all for bonus points. So, much like Chumbley, a very methodical wrestler.
Not much action so far in this first period. Both wrestlers feeling each other out. I expect this maybe to be a one takedown match. We're going to see who can ride in that top position. It's going to be Askey pressed with the challenge, because we know Trevor Chumbley can do that.
And maybe what's most at stake here is seeding come Big Ten championships time. The duel is in hand for the Golden Gophers, and these guys are clearly thought of pretty equally around the country based on their rankings.
Yeah, it's really tough to, you know, grasp how good a guy actually is until they start wrestling similar opponents, and that's what the Big Ten Conference is about. You can see guys ranked really high in the preseason, but then once they start, you know, feeling some more matches out, other guys, you know, come onto the scheme just a little bit more.
And this is an example where, assuming this remains very close, these two wrestlers, when Intermat's weekly rankings come out next week, will probably be 8 and 9 again in some order, just with whoever wins at 8 and whoever loses at 9, because, again, you're only going to learn so much about these guys facing off against each other, besides potentially just confirming that they're about on the same level.
Yeah, and we're seeing that after a scoreless first period, but we're going to see who's better in the top and who's better in the bottom. That's what I'm really excited for in these second and third periods.
Chumbley trying to get on the attack here, being repelled well by Askey, and that toe being kept in. Is it a takedown? No, it is a stalemate.
Yeah, we'll see. A good mat return right there from Trevor Chumbley. That was really quick hits. Askey had a really good opportunity to try and get out, able to keep him on the mat.
So close to our first points of this 157-pound match. Instead, 1:30 to go here in period 2. We remain scoreless.
Yeah, and, you know, Askey's going to have to pull. So it's really tough to get to his feet right now, so he's going to have to hit some kind of switch or find a way to get back, because Chumbley's been really good with the mat returns.
Chumbley again Can he get the match's first takedown?
Seeing that riding time go over a minute now.
Askey still doing just enough defensively to keep this scoreless. And another stalemate.
Yeah, Chumbley's not a guy who's not necessarily working towards a tilt, but he's really active with his hands and trying to get him to the mat. And as you see those weight classes go up, it's tough to tilt these guys. So the mat returns, the way you keep them on the mat, trying to flatten them out is so important. It's also really important is how quickly you get off that whistle. As Chumbley really likes that double thigh pry, getting in on the hips of Askey.
Askey just looking for an escape, and that's proving incredibly difficult out of the clutches of Chumbley.
Yeah, in a situation like this, if you're Askey, if you go into the period tied 0-0, you got to make a decision. Do you want to try and ride out and equal out riding time just a little bit, or you have to bet on yourself on your feet? So if you're, sometimes the decision is, let's go to our feet, give me 2 minutes to try and get a takedown.
Certainly that would set up the most exciting finish if Askey's able to get an escape here and effectively tie the score at 1-1 going into round 3.
And it had to happen right there as Chumbley, really good patience on that Grammy roll right there. As right now we're going to get a count. He can afford a stall warning right here, but good job to get back to the hips. That was some really good top wrestling there from Trevor Chumbley.
After 2, we remain scoreless. That riding time looking in pretty good shape right now for Trevor Chumbley. So to your point, Hayden, it is decision time for Tommy Askey as Matt Storniolo, Northwestern head coach, looks on.
Yeah, and right here for Askey, I think the game plan here is see what you can do with the ride out. If he gets to his feet quickly, just let him go like he does right here. You got 2 minutes to get a takedown. You were going to have to get a takedown to win this match anyway. Put yourself on the line here.
Chumbley, they're all close matches. Everything decided by 6 points or less. See some wrestlers who all their matches end in bonus points. None of Trevor Chumbley's matches do. He is very comfortable and confident in these close situations, really trusts his defensive instincts and ability to keep his opponents off the scoreboard.
And that's very impressive as a wrestler too. How well can you be defensively, but how well can you be on top and bottom? And that's what that says about him. Maybe not the guy best on his feet, can get a takedown when needed, try to get the action right here. But Tommy Askey, he's quick with those hips.
Also says though that he's frequently in situations where his opponents are desperately looking for a takedown, and they basically never get them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's so good. He's so quick. We're going to get a little bit of blood time right here.
And a chance for Askey to go over to the bench and conference with the Minnesota coaching staff. The athletic training staff's been busy today for the Wildcats as they're cleaning up the left hand, it looks like, of Chumbley. Meanwhile, Askey in conversation here over on the Minnesota bench, and there's Chumbley getting checked out to make sure he's not bleeding anywhere else.
Yep, got to be careful in this sport. And Askey right now getting coached up by Michael Kemmerer, the former Hawkeye. First year in the program and longtime assistant coach Becker. These guys, man, they embody wrestling. They're good guys to have you good in your corner. Michael Kemmerer, he was a technician in that top position at Iowa, and Trevor Chumbley proving that for Northwestern. He's doing a good job in the top position. All these Wildcat wrestlers have been so far. This is going to be an exciting end of the match, and I've been so impressed with this Minnesota wrestling, this culture, the environment. Everybody's into the match. Everybody's on their feet. They're, every guy's trying to coach them up. It's sometimes like you got too many voices in your ear, but we're just getting some taped up right now for Trevor Chumbley.
Yeah, the right ear as well as the left hand being attended to on the Northwestern side of things. Got to get him through the next 119. You mentioned Michael Kemmerer, and it's hard at Iowa wrestling to really stand out in the record books and do something that's never been done before. A 5-time All-American as a Hawkeye, the first wrestler for Iowa to ever do that.
Yeah, and I think there's some COVID implications there. Michael Kemmerer, not everyone goes to college. Some people go to college for 7 years, as he said, and Gable Steveson, another guy who's been around a while, and the COVID rules, they're doing some fun stuff. We get to see some of these guys a little bit longer, and I know the wrestling fan base is a lot happier. They're good for the sport.
Of course, this is the last academic year that we're going to see pretty much all of those COVID years utilized. Under a minute to go in the third, still 1-0 plus potential riding time in favor of Trevor Chumbley. Stalemate reset, 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, and Chumbley's so comfortable defensively. Askey is going to have to get creative with a takedown here.
Trevor Chumbley must be just so frustrating to wrestle against.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be his practice partner, I'll tell you that. We can finally get that first stall warning, and that's an important one. And right there, good takedown there from Askey. Got to the leg, able to redirect a heck of a takedown there.
Huge for Askey, and now it's Chumbley who's got to find something.
Yeah, that riding time point is secured, so if we get an escape here, it's a tied matchup. It's going to be tough to do, though. This mat return right here is key.
Under 20 seconds. Askey, after doing not much of anything for 2.5 rounds, dominant here in the final 30-plus seconds, and looks like he's going to finish the day with a win for him, and capping off the win for the Golden Gophers. Very impressive by the number 8 wrestler in the country there at the end of that third round.
That was a lot of fun to watch. That's good wrestling on the edge of the mat. That's good mat awareness right there. And the mat return, that was what's so important. With 20 seconds left, if you can get that mat return, wrestle on the corner of the mat, that's the kind of day it was for the Golden Gophers.
So it's a decision victory for Askey secured at the end of the third